everyone, I hope you are all doing well. It's been a very long time since I've done an unboxing video, or any video for that matter. But today, I think I've got a unicorn for you, or at least I hope it's a unicorn, because, well, as you can see, the box is a little different. Not your average shipping box, but according to Delivery Digest, the unicorn should be in my mailbox today. So we are going to unbox this. Tilt this camera down so you can see, and we will get this open. I did take the label off because I'm sorry, I just don't want to give you all my address. But I do have to cut all the tape. And I'm also hoping that I can get through this whole video in a semi-composed manner, because it's been an interesting day. Alright, I'm assuming that we're opening from the top here. Ta-da! So, alright, so while I did say this is a not your average box, I gotta say, it's pretty sturdy. And given what this should be, I am ecstatic that it's in a box rather than in, you know, a mailer or something, which I've had so many things come in. I pulled out my scissors and things all ready to pull out, you know, the tissue paper, but we don't have a lot of tissue paper in here. Okay, here's the first look. Do you know what this is? All right. How are we going to okay. First step. I'm going to pause, and I'm taking my rings off. I love my vining rings, but as vines and twigs and things will do, they get caught on things. So off they come. No rings. See, no rings. And we're going to, I think, angle it this way because this is where I can see the inside. I'm going to tuck my hand inside this baby and coax it on out. Okay. The seller did say that this was incredibly delicate. All right, we had some nice support inside. Let me see if I can turn this in a way that it's going to make the most sense for you to see what this is. All right. So it was listed as a doll bonnet, and it very well could be a large doll bonnet or a small child's infant-sized bonnet. And you might be asking yourself, that looks like some strange straw. It's not straw. This is luffa sponge. We're actually going to take a little hair off here. Okay. So luffa sponge is basically a vegetable. It grows and can be dried and turned into what many of us know as luffa sponges. And on occasion, yes, they did make bonnets and headwear out of these. Now, this was not your everyday piece. This is a nicer item from my understanding. I also understand that there's very few of these, at least few of these that are in collections that have been digitized. So when I saw this on eBay, I wanted it, and I told myself I could not have it. And then I rationalized that, you know, I don't really need to eat groceries that week, and so I kind of skipped the groceries that week, and I bought this. So I really wanted to know how it was done. So this is the back. Let me get this around. I'm sorry. I'm just in awe. So here's the back. And I believe this is a single piece of luffa. And then here is the brim. Okay, there's a little bit of edge here going on. Turning this so I can look at the back. I believe the length of the vegetable went this way, and it was unrolled and shaped into this back. And then, I suspect the length of a longer sponge runs this way around the shape of the brim. And I'm saying both of those because this looks like the entire length of like the ribby bit, and then there's two smooth bits, and then I can see some ribby bit. Technical terms here, folks. And then over here, I think this portion is the ribby bit. And then this bit is the smooth bit. And I am so sorry that I just don't know my technical terms when it comes to plants. Picture the inside of like a pepper. That pulpy bit that creates the ribs and the seeds. You know, like in a hot pepper, that's that really, really hot part. That's what I'm calling this ribby part. And then this part being the smooth part. Or on the back here, this being that rib part and this being the smooth part. Now, of course, this is a squash as opposed to a pepper. But that's the best I can compare at this point. The bevelet or the curtain, the fibers seem to be running. Oh, I think the fibers are running across. And it's just this cute little bevelet happening there. You see it? Super, super cute. Okay, running over the top of the brim. Simple ribbon with a knot. I'm going to estimate that this is about an inch wide ribbon. It's got a nice little twist to it. Little bow with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 loops, it looks like. Though I think this one might have been one of the ties and then loop back under. And then the tie comes off of that. There's a matching bow or rosette over here with the tie. Now the ties are I'm gonna say 13 to 15 inches long. It's a silk. They're white or off-white. It's looks like a taffeta weave as opposed to a satin. Let me see if I can very carefully flip her around. I don't want to do gloves with this piece because I'm afraid the gloves will snag on the sponge. Okay, this helps see a little better. This tells me, okay, see this here? Let me see if I can do this. All right, see this edge? The silk lining wraps around that edge, which tells me there's actually two pieces to this brim. So I have the crown under here, under this lining piece. It's actually been pieced together. And then this brim piece, which is pieced together and actually looks like a combination of on the grain and on the bias. That creates a whole circle almost. And I think it must go under. Yeah, that goes under the crown. And then, ooh, so the brim edge and the bevelet are actually a continuous piece. So coming back over, yeah, I can see that now. There's just some subtle stitches right through here where this section, which I'm going to say 1.25 inches, maybe 1.5 inches, is tacked onto the edge of the crown piece. So it's at least 1, 2, 3 components of the squash. And then it does have a nice little lace frill. Knowing when the rest of the documentation for sponge bonnets comes up, I'm going to place this firmly in the second half of the 19th century, likely in the 70s and 80s. I do see just a bit of foundation material under this gap of the lining here. That is a stiffer material in there. That might be a buckram type material, but it's definitely finer than the buckram we usually see. The threads are finer. It's so cute. This outer bit of silk, which has lots of fracturing, is folded in half and then sewn under this piece of the brim and the body. So I'm very excited to add this to my collection. Part of me strongly thinks that it should be in a more public collection given what it is. We'll see what happens there. I just think it's so cute. So the sponge actually reaches over the edge of the brim here. It's got a little bit of squish, but it's definitely firm. The seller did mention that she moistened it a little to pull it out of a flattened shape. It has a ways to go with that because you can see that strong crease up here at the top and along the brim edge and down the back. So it could get a little more reshaping, and with the right support might be able to get some more of the shaping back here at the bottom. Don't you even think about it. Go eat. Clara is right here on the floor and she knows she cannot come up. But just in case, I think I'm going to call this an end after I've shown this to you. No. Yeah. All right, so we're going to call this an end to this unboxing video of this lovely little unicorn. Again, it is a late 19th century sponge bonnet made from luffa. Yay! Love it. It's going to need its perfect archival box now. Have a great day, everyone.